Hey, what's up guys, it's me, your boy Erickson, coming with another Talking to the Void video. I'm again at the park. It's the same day as the previous video that I uploaded, but I had to take advantage because right now there's not many people around and I wanted to record in this specific area because I think I like the optics. It looks kind of spooky. It's getting dark. They're about to close the park. Believe it or not, here they close the park around 8 p.m. So at this time around people start leaving, and as you can see here, maybe you can hear me better because like this is blocking the sound or something. And so yeah, on my previous video I talked about the UFO UAP topic. I don't know if I just rambled or what, because I was really on edge about people coming by and stuff. I don't like it. I'm shy. I always say that. I'm still getting used to this. But I like coming out to nature and just like walking around. I think it's more interesting for you guys to see, especially when I'm just speaking my mind. That's sitting in front of my PC. I'll leave that for streaming or whatever other more produced videos I need to do. So yeah, look at the lighting. It's kind of beautiful here. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about like something that I learned today at my job. So a couple of videos ago I just talked about how I'm kind of worried about layoffs and how some of my co-workers got laid off, and that just kept me up at night. And I just kind of want to explain what they said today that made me kind of relax a bit, because today in a meeting they said like, before that, I live in Mexico, right? And I'm hired through this network of agencies, and I'm hired through the Mexican agency that's inside like a super huge network of other agencies around the globe. So I'm assigned to an agency that is based in the US, right? And we work in production and animation and visual effects for many brands. And so I'm still paid in pesos, and my insurance and everything, it's done through my country. So yeah, what they said today was like basically the director of the 3D area, he was saying how he's got his hands tied by the corporation, basically, in terms of hiring recent graduates out of school. So basically they can't hire, they can, but like, just hear me out. I'm rambling again, but like so recently graduated people in the US and junior levels and mid levels are not hired, because with that money they can hire up to 2 mid levels from offshore, right? So instead of hiring like a junior from the US, you can hire 2 mid levels from Mexico or India. And he was explaining that. He was explaining how even the government advises them to hire recently graduates from the US, from colleges and stuff. But like the corporate makes it so hard in terms of budgeting and stuff that they cannot do that. So I got relaxed a bit because I'm a mid-level and I'm hired through the Mexican agency. So that works for me. But at the same time, it's part of the problem that I just wonder, like, what's the solution for recent grads in the US? Like, how are they gonna be able to find a job, and how are they gonna be able to get up to maybe mid-level? One thing they said was that they're keeping all senior levels and lead levels in the US. So that's cool, at least, because it's really hard to find that level of talent elsewhere, honestly. and I've seen that myself. Like, as I said in one of my previous videos, like, I feel like most of my coworkers that are in the US are like light years ahead of me in experience, and that's because the US, they actually have an industry for video games, for movies, for production, and here in Mexico that's almost non-existent. So yeah, even though I went to the US to study and get my degree, like, I only had the chance to work for 1 year after I graduated, and it wasn't like in a VFX shop or anything. It was just like whatever job I could get, right? I mean, it was related to my degree, otherwise I couldn't be hired, but it wasn't like a huge in-house production house, right? So it sucks for the citizens of the United States, man. Like, it's so unfair. I actually feel for them. Like, this should not be happening. You should be able to go to college, graduate, and get hired in your country without having to compete for cheap labor around the globe. And I understand this because one time, I think this was during the pandemic, as I said, I was laid off because the previous agency that I was working on, they specialized in the live events, let's say that. So concerts and parties and stuff. And during the pandemic, everything closed, so they had like no work, right? And they decided to cut me off. So I went into, I think the name of the website is freelancer.com or freelance, whatever. And I created a profile and I said like, yeah, I'm just gonna be freelancing here and I'll earn in US dollars instead of pesos, and I'll be a freelancer through this website. There was another website, I keep forgetting the name, but that's not important. The only thing important is like you create a profile, you offer your services. I actually met a couple of dudes there. One of the people that I met, she was like a chibi character designer, if you even know what that is. It's like anime, well, some style of anime. So she was basically selling commissions, like you could pay to her and she will draw you whatever you wanted in chibi style. So that was cool. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is like, I created my services and I was doing 3D modeling and rendering, and I will put like a cost, right? Like, so if you want me to model and render this is gonna cost you, I don't know, $35. But if you want this and this and this, then it's gonna cost you $70. But if on top of that you want this and that, then it's gonna cost you $100. And I was like, I'm even charging cheap, right? Like, this is cheap, so competition wise I should be okay. No, dude, like as soon as I started checking the competition, like these guys from India, man, they were charging peanuts. Like, they were basically charging like $2 or $3 for the same quality, right? Like, I'm not sure if I'm making sense, but like what I was about to make for $30, they were charging like $2. So of course they were not gonna pick me. And that's what's happening to the US. Like, so why pay? And I've seen this because I've been getting like sporadically emails from Silicon Valley, from San Francisco, like for job openings. And guess what? It's like their jobs to train AI. So you're basically training your replacement, right? So they want 3D modelers to train AI. And so they offer me a senior 3D modeler position in this place called Turing. And I was like, yeah, sure. So I did my research, because they ask you like how much you want to earn, and I was like, well, at least I want like $40 per hour, right? Because they're not gonna give me like any sort of insurance or 401k or all the equivalents here in Mexico. I'm just gonna say like if it was the US, because I'm more familiar to that system, that explaining how it works in Mexico. But it's basically the same thing. Like, instead of getting like paid vacations, 401k, insurance, and all those benefits, like you don't get shit, and you have to pay for all of those out of pocket. So I did the math, and I was like, where for a senior leader, for a senior level 3D modeler, I will want like $40 per hour. And still, like, if you compare how much they will have to pay like a US citizen in a senior role, it sometimes go up to 120k per year, and here's like 70k per year for a senior role. So that's why these people, they will rather go out and hire from India or Mexico or whatever country. But that's a problem to the US, and it's unfair. It's good for me in Mexico, but because if I get fired from this job, if I get laid off or whatever, then I will hate it, because number one, I'm working from home. Number two, I'm learning tons of shit from your industry, guys, and I love it. I love what I do. I'm learning on Unreal Engine. I'm learning automotive stuff, and I'm working on high quality production stuff. And yeah, if I get laid off, not only my salary, it will be really hard to get at any other place, because, like, believe it or not, like, even though I said like I'm not rich, I get by paycheck to paycheck, but it's decent. Like, the salary is decent. Like, I've seen how the market is here in Mexico, and man, like, I don't know how people live off of what they're paying some of designer jobs. So that will suck. So that's good for me. I get to work in a cool US production house. I get paid super cheap for them. Like, if I was living there, they will have to pay me at least 10 times what I'm earning, and I put in the effort, and they're like saving tons of money. But then you guys that live there, that are like junior levels or mid levels, are getting screwed. So there you go. So I guess I'm not gonna be laid off, hopefully, because I'm cheap. So there you go. That's your system. So yeah, I get it, and I just wanted to tell you that story. So anyways, it's getting dark. I need to go back to my wife and my baby. I left them over there. Hopefully they're still alive and they weren't abducted by a UFO. Thanks for watching, guys. My previous video got 60 views, which is like a milestone to me. I'm not sure if people are watching throughout the video or are just like clicking and then leaving, and that's the reason why the high count. But if you do enjoy my content, please, I'll appreciate the support. I'll keep on coming out and facing strangers and keep avoiding them and walking through the woods. And thanks for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what I can improve. Let me know what you will want to hear or chat about. And I'll see you in the next Talking to the Void video. This is your boy Erickson signing out. End of transmission. Bye bye.